Every time I go live, I feel like my hair is next level. Hello, everyone. And hello, YouTube, because I will be posting this on YouTube. I had a very... Hi, Lisa. Hi, you guys. I had a really strong pull to jump on and share a theme or one of the steps in our evolution in human consciousness. Something you may be experiencing and thinking that you're losing your mind over. So I'm gonna just start. Great hair. All right, so sit back and just enjoy this little sermon for a moment, and then we can go about our days or the rest of our day. So this is for anyone that has been, is, or will be feeling very bipolar-ish, or like you're losing your mind or you're out of control, especially if you feel out of control. If you feel like the emotions are becoming too much for you, what you're in is becoming too much, that there's a gripping even more now, like you're trying to figure something out, find a solution, get rid of, fix. This is a really, really powerful moment for you if that's what you're in, if that's what you've been in, if that's what you're working through. Working through isn't even really the right word. So as you know, we're going through an evolution in human consciousness, and this can be looked at in many different ways. There's so many different levels or layers to the awakening process, to the evolution in consciousness. But one of the things that is inevitable, one of the things that is happening, and one of the things that you will experience if you aren't already experiencing, it's just the natural process of the evolution of our consciousness. We are becoming more energetic. Okay? And so you're an energy, you're a soul or a spirit, whatever you want to call it. You're not human. You're not the personality, the name, right? You're not your traumas. You're not the programs. You're not the behaviors. You're not the emotions. You're not the thoughts. You're none of what you think you are. But like you actually aren't, right? You really aren't. And what's happening is that you are becoming, or you are stepping deeper into, unbeknownst to you or you're aware of it, being more of this energetic being that you are. You still hold all of your name. You still hold like your names and your labels and the things you do and the relationships you hold and the ups and downs of life. Like you're still humaning, but you are becoming more energetic, which is a shit show. It's a chaotic, crunchy, WTF, get me off this ride experience, because you are starting to interact with the world more energetically. And so you are going to be feeling more and more and more. It's a feeling state, and it's not just a feeling emotion. It's starting to feel more than you ever have resonance around people. You're starting to feel the resistance around life more and more. You're starting to feel more and more confused. You're starting to feel like you need to control more and more. You're starting to feel many different emotions throughout your day. You're starting to feel when things are calm. You're starting to feel more when things aren't calm. Most of us are living in ways that we did not live 5 to 10 years ago. And you may not realize how different you're living right now, because it's like a frog being boiled in water. It just slowly can unravel and happen, and you don't realize, holy shit, I'm so much more energetic now. I'm feeling so much more. You may not realize it. You may not realize that 10 years ago, you were very, very numb compared to how you are now. Even if you think you were super wide awake, right? We are coming out of this numbing, this numb state, this state of amnesia. And we are learning how to feel safe inside a physical form as we wake up. And we're learning how to feel everything, remembering that we're not it. And this is how we move out of a controlled state, meaning that the world, these systems out there, control us. And this really is this spiritual battle, the spiritual war that we're in right now, is that we are learning how to be in all of this and everything that the world is throwing at you. You're learning how to stand in it, realizing that it's not you. And that we can talk about this until the cows come home, right? Like, okay, yeah, I know that I'm not this world. I'm of this world. I'm in this world, but I'm not of this world. I'm a soul in a body. I'm having a human experience, blah, blah, fucking blah. It's next level when you actually start living it in your day-to-day life, which means that you're not afraid of anything. You have no fear. When you're not afraid of thought, when you're not afraid of emotion, when you're not afraid of what's arising in your day all day long, then you are literally mastering this matrix. Until then, you are going to be shown every single thing that you need to see and feel in order to recognize that you still believe the illusion that this world is telling you, which is that you are emotions, you better change them. You are thoughts, you better start controlling them. And that you're the behaviors that you're doing, so you better change them. And when we start to become more energetic, right? When we start to turn on, when we start to become soul embodied or God embodied or light embodied, it's not a concept. It's not a logical thing. It's a being state. So it's a feeling state. And what you'll notice as you become more in that state, as you turn on more and more, that you start to move through life in more of a flow state. And that flow state is not controlling how your life is necessarily unraveling. And so what that may look like is, from other people's perspectives, right? Then what it may look like is that you say one thing and then 2 hours later you say something different. You feel one way in the morning, you feel a completely different way in the evening. You make plans a week from now, and then that plan completely changes because a week from now you're a completely different person, right? You have desires one day, you don't have those desires the next day. There is no consistency in flow. Go look at a river. Nothing stays consistent. Everything's always changing. If you were to find yourself in a river, you would be floating down that river. And if you look to the sides, things are always changing. So that is life. That is how you are designed to be in life. But we are programmed, deeply, deeply programmed, to not trust the natural rhythm of life, which is flow. And so that's how we are controlled. And that's how we stay out of our most embodied or empowered place, which is flow. Which means however I feel is not who I am. Whatever I'm feeling is energy moving through me or being disrupted within me in order to move. And my most empowered state that I could possibly be in is to feel it. I can't be controlled if I am simply feeling whatever's arising. You cannot be controlled. The world cannot be controlled if it simply feels everything. It's another level of humaning, right? And so what you're practicing and what you're learning right now is many of you are probably feeling like so, what's the word where you can't move, right? You're paralyzed because you perhaps haven't experienced life in the way that you're experiencing right now. Some of you may not be able to make a decision if your life depended on it, right? Some of you have no motivation, and it's so disconcerting because you've never been in this place. And no matter how hard you try, you can't seem to find motivation. You're being pummeled into a flow state. Everything that you're experiencing is pummeling you into a flow state, which is whatever is arising is what is arising. This is life. And the fastest way for me to move through life is to let life move me. Life can't fuck up. Life doesn't know how to fuck up. Life is nature. It's a natural movement. Every moment of every day is a fucking miracle. And you have been programmed to believe that life is out to get you and that you have to fight against life. Remember, we live in a matrix that is inverted, right? So it's collapsed inside of itself and it needs to come out. It needs to be you have like a t-shirt on backwards. You just need to take the t-shirt and unravel it the right way or turn it inside out. Thank you, Lori. Turn it inside out. We need to turn the matrix inside out. And so what that means is that we are designed to feel safe no matter what is happening on the planet, the war, the greed, the manipulation, the chaos, all of that is here. But our highest state is to be able to be in all of it, to feel all of it, and to continue to trust that life has us, that life isn't screwing up, that what if this is one big evolutionary experiment that you agreed to be a part of, whether you understand that or not. And to use this lens throughout your day will create less resistance and less suffering in a world that you agreed to be in, that you forgot how it works. So every moment you are being gifted opportunities to remember that the more the external world can keep you in fear, the more it can keep you disempowered, the more it can keep you thinking that you have to survive, the more it keeps you in resistance to it, like you're fighting against life. You have to figure it out. The farther you are away from your natural being as your highest state of being, which is an absolute badass soul embodied that literally can experience anything without ever burning, without ever collapsing into a pile of dust. Our evolution in human consciousness is that we are evolving into who we have always been since the moment we incarnated. But this matrix has convinced us in every possible way all of the ways in which we are the most disempowered, which is do not trust feelings, do not feel certain feelings. And if you don't feel certain feelings, then you will forget that you are you are safe to feel everything. And if you don't remember that you're safe to feel everything, you will constantly be looking for things outside of yourself to help you get through certain emotional states. Like you can't do it on your own. You can't get through this. You'll hide and run or drown out or numb yourself from certain energies or emotions. You'll stuff them so you don't feel them. All of this is a tactic that's 100% designed to keep you disempowered. Your most empowered place that you could ever be on the planet is when you know that you can feel everything, and you're none of it. Once humanity has gotten to that state of awareness and that state of being, we will not be controlled. Because what controls humanity at the base of everything is fear. And if you know that you can feel fear and not run from it, you look it in the eyes, you've just broken free. You now have choice. We all think we're choosing. You're not truly choosing if you live in fear. Fear is choosing for you. So if you're afraid of an emotion, you're not free yet. If you're afraid of thoughts, you're not free yet. If you're afraid of behaviors, you're not free yet. And so what's happening to you and I right now? We're being shown all of the things that we're afraid of, that we're uncomfortable in, that we don't want to be in, so that we can recognize that we actually can stand in it. So fear may be coming up for you over and over and over again right now. Anxiety may be coming up over and over and over for you right now. Depression may be coming up over and over and over for you right now. Confusion may be coming up over and over and over. The need to control may be coming up over and over. Whatever is coming up over and over and over is your Achilles heel right now. It's the one thing that you have to surrender into and allow yourself to move through. And what that means is that you have to experience it in its purest state. You have to allow it to be what it is. You have to allow it to be okay. You have to allow the anxiety to be able to show you what you are afraid of so that you can no longer be afraid of it. You have to let the depression show you what you are afraid of so that you can move through it and no longer be afraid of any sort of emotions that come up that we call depression. That's how you move into a flow state. You have to allow all the moments of confusion to show you what you are afraid of, which is being confused. And you have to allow that confusion to be there at such a degree that it no longer is controlling you because you're not trying to get out of it. It doesn't have control over you anymore. It's a very fine line that humanity is finding themselves at right now, because on one level, we are here to move through things. So if you have anxiety or stress or worry or confusion or depression, you don't want to wallow in it. Like, woe is me. Why am I in this? Why am I here again? This sucks. Blah, blah, blah. You don't want to do that. You've got to find this empowered part of you, okay, that remembers what he or she is going through. You have to see it through a different lens. You can't see it through the lens of I'm a victim to this, because it will still control you. And you will spend your life trying to get out of everything that you're in. So you're being thrown into a river over and over again, and you're literally trying to swim out of the river because you don't think the river is safe, because you hit boulders, or it goes too fast at certain times, or it squeezes into this little pocket that is the rapids increase and you don't like it. Why is this happening again? I got to get out of this. Where's the side of the river where I can go? Meanwhile, life is just going to kick you right back into the river. And you're going to say, this is Groundhog's Day. Because you keep finding yourself in pockets of the river that you don't like and you don't want to be there. And you're trying to change and fix and get out of. But what we have forgotten is that you're designed to just move through it. And the best and easiest way to move through anything is to recognize that you're moving through everything in order to remember that you can move through everything. You get to have all the temper tantrums. You get to have all the different emotional states or any thoughts that pop in. All of it gets to be here. It's all part of the smorgasbord of the human experience as you're in the river. But there is not one moment of your life that's fucked up, that's wrong, that shouldn't be here. That would literally be like looking at a river and saying that drop of water shouldn't be there. That leaf that fell from the tree shouldn't be there. That boulder that's down that river shouldn't be there. It's the same thing. When you start remembering what life is all about, how magical and mystical and badass and energetic and quantum and holy cow it actually is, you start realizing there are no mistakes. You start realizing that every single second of every single day is a moment of your evolution in consciousness. And that it is absolutely, unequivocally very rocky. Because you are pulling yourself out of a imprisoned matrix system that has convinced you your entire life that you're stuck in something and that you have to fear certain things. You have to be afraid of certain things. There are bad emotions and good emotions, bad behavior and good behavior. And through a lens of polarity and duality, yes, there are bad emotions and good emotions, bad behaviors and good behaviors, 100 billion%. However, when you start to get down into the basics of life, just the flow state of life, everything just is. So all the opinions are okay. I like this emotion, I don't like this emotion. Okay, guess what? The emotion's still going to move through your body. You can have 17 people standing on a street and a car collision happens. You're going to feel specific emotions. You are not evolving into numbness where you don't see the horrific things on the planet. You're moving into an evolutionary state of consciousness where you start feeling more and more and more. And what this world is trying to do to you and I right now is keep you distracted so that you don't feel. So we are looking down at a device more than we ever have in our entire lives, which numbs us from feeling, which is the most empowered place that you could possibly be. And the systems that are in place that are controlling humanity understand this. They are not stupid. And so they understand that if you can stay numbed out and distracted and not feeling, you will forget how powerful you are and you will continue to look to them to run your life. Life becomes miraculous, extraordinary in the ordinary almost, when you start to recognize how powerful you are, that you can go through anything, that you can literally feel anything. Anything. this is where humanity is slowly moving into. And it's not easy. It has no words. It has no vocabulary. And so what I offer you right now as I'm navigating this with you side by side, and I because I don't have a busy life, I don't have children, I don't have a partner right now, I'm not married, I have no animals or pets, birds, reptiles, nothing. I sit with me all the time and I dissect. I dissect on an energetic level what I'm going through, what I'm experiencing, how to do this. All day, I am literally an energetic scientist, peeling back the layers of what I am experiencing all day long energetically. The feelings don't bring you anywhere. The feelings are just moving through you. Imagine, okay, my friend, that every rock that's at the bottom of the river is an emotion that moves through the body. And as you are moving through the river, right, as the water moves through, it just moves through the rocks, right? So the emotions aren't taking you anywhere. You're in movement with life. You're moving in life, with life, through life. And as you do that, all day long, every millisecond of this linear time frame that you're in, time-space continuum, emotion or energy is moving through the body. And so emotions aren't taking you anywhere. You're just moving through a moment. If you don't grab an emotion, it will be gone in 90 seconds, 2 minutes. When you're starting to learn not to grab an emotion, it can take a couple of hours maybe if it's an intense emotion. But typically when you really start to wake up to feeling, in the feeling state, emotion comes and goes like this. It just is fast. The reason you feel certain emotions for a long period of time is because you're grabbing the emotion, you're judging it. Okay? So anytime an emotion comes up, anytime we have anxiety, sadness, anger, resentment, guilt, shame, you name it, okay? You will have the ability to grab it and judge it. And when you do that, you anchor it into your moment, and then you carry it with you into the next moment. And you're worried about it. You're trying to figure out how to change it. The biggest illusion that we live in on this planet is that you are in control of changing emotion. That is a program that we will eventually find ourselves stepping out of, because it is counterintuitive to how this entire quantum field works. Right? So the idea that you change emotions is not true. You just move through emotions. So emotions which is just energy. It just comes and goes. So I want you to pay attention. This is a really good practice, okay? The next time that you feel happiness or joy, the next time you feel calm or at peace, first of all, recognize it. And then I want you to tell me if you're grabbing it. Well, you're never going to be able to tell me, but pay attention to, is this just moving through me? Okay, when you feel joy, it's just moving through you, right? Like you're not grabbing and anchoring it and trying to figure it out. You're not saying to yourself like, oh my God, I'm happy. I wonder why I'm happy. What can I do to make sure that I stay happy? When did this happiness come? You're not doing that with happiness or peace or calm or joy. You let it just move through you. You're just letting it be. You're just moving in life with life as joy arises. It's very, it's non-resistant. Okay? Now, I want you to pay attention to when you feel emotions you don't like to feel. okay? Anger, stress, anxiety, whatever it is, sadness. It's a very different experience because you're grabbing it, you're judging it. You're trying to figure it out. And I want you to imagine how you feel in that moment where you're trying to figure things out and fix it. I want you to think about when you feel joy. I want you to literally weigh out the difference between what I feel when I'm feeling anger, right? You may feel shame or guilt. You may say, I shouldn't feel this. How do I get rid of this? This doesn't feel good. Sure, of course it doesn't feel good. Different emotions have different frequencies. That's why people call them low vibrational and high vibrational, because they're literally spinning in a different frequency. Okay, so anger is a slowed down vibration of happiness, which is a slowed down vibration of joy. So when you speed up energies, you feel different emotions. Now, they're not really emotions. We just call them emotions because that's how the third dimensional matrix works. Oh, that's anger, that's sadness, that's joy, that's happiness. We just put labels on an energy. So when you feel what you would label as ... I want you to imagine what you do when you feel the energies that you like to feel, the emotions you like to feel, and then try to do that with what you're feeling that you don't like to feel. Take a moment and just breathe it through. Just breathe before you react or respond. Breathe for a moment before you have the knee-jerk, unconscious, programmed reaction to it. Relax into trying to change it, judging yourself because you shouldn't have it. That's the most ridiculous thing we could possibly do, is say, I shouldn't be feeling this. That is literally like telling a freaking pebble in the river, you should not be in the river. It's like, but I'm in a river. But you shouldn't be. Okay, well, that's pointless because I'm in a river. Well, you shouldn't be feeling anger. But that's what I'm feeling. Oh, you shouldn't be feeling sadness. You really should be feeling a higher vibration. You really should be happy. You should be feeling joy. We live in a quantum field, my friends, which means that every single energy is available at every single moment. And it is the egoic structure, the part of you that likes to control, that thinks that it's never going to feel certain emotions and only going to feel certain emotions. That is the most absurd, ridiculous notion that we could possibly hold. And it is very disempowering. If you say to yourself, or you're following the teachings of, I should only be feeling certain things, happiness, peace, love, contentment, you have no fucking idea what the quantum field is. Because everything is available at any moment in the quantum field. You see, the master understands that it's none of what it feels, so it doesn't give a shit what goes through it. It doesn't grab any of it. So a master that's learned how to be soul embodied understands that if an emotion comes through that the human would classify as anger, the master knows it's not the anger. The master knows that it's feeling this energy that humans call anger. And the master lets it move through him or her without having a knee-jerk, unconscious response to it or reaction to it, or tries to change it. It could care less. What's next? The master doesn't say, I should only be feeling peace. The master isn't trying to control anything. You're becoming a master, my friend. That's what you're doing here. And any part of you that's trying to control the quantum field has simply forgotten how this quantum field works. Every moment of every day, you are standing in a field of energy that has every possibility in it. Now, when it comes to thoughts, yes, without judgment, it's just an experience. Now, when it comes to thoughts, there is an infinite amount of thoughts available in the quantum field that can be accessed at any moment. And again, with thought, okay? If you anchor that thought in, if you grab it and say, oh, I think I'm going to grab the unworthiness card. I'm totally unworthy. I'm totally unworthy. All you're doing is just grabbing a balloon from the sky, a thought, pulling it in, and just anchoring that balloon into your reality and walking around with it. It's only true because you're anchoring it and you're holding it as truth. The second you let go of the balloon, it floats away back into the quantum field for somebody else to pull. And then it's no longer a reality for you. Now, these balloons that we hold dear and close and dear to our hearts have been gifted to us by trauma, or by the programmed world, by systems out there like our school systems or our educational systems or our medical systems or your lineage, your ancestral systems, right? They hand you all these balloons. You're grabbing these balloons as limiting thoughts. You're holding them true to you because so-and-so said it, or this person said it, or this, governmental system said it. And the way the quantum field works and the master of who you are works is that eventually you realize that you're holding balloons that don't need to be held. And you can literally just let the balloons go and you can feel a lot lighter, but it's very difficult. What's so miraculous about the human experience is that we literally are unconsciously choosing to hold on to balloons, limiting beliefs that are not true. And that all it takes is just to let go of that balloon and let it fly away. But it's so freaking hard because everything around you has convinced you that this balloon, whatever limiting belief you hold about yourself, is absolutely true. So again, this process of awakening right now, right, that you're doing, becoming more energetic, you're going to start seeing all the different balloons, right? I think that you can do this and you get balloons. All the different balloons that you've been holding as thought. And then there's this humility of, oh my God, I've got to learn how to practice how to let go of all of these different balloons that I've been holding. And why am I holding these balloons? What balloons are you holding? Really, think about that throughout your day. And the way that you will recognize that it's a balloon that you're holding as a limiting thought is it just plays in the background all day long like a record player that's skipping, right? And your journey of awakening, the planet's journey of awakening is to see every single thing that it has been in. It has to see what it's standing in. So you have to see what it is that you're afraid of. You have to see what it is that's holding you back. You have to see what it is that you're constantly trying to fight against or fix. And when you start seeing it, becoming aware of it, you start realizing it's not you. Holy shit, this emotion is not me. There's something watching this emotion. Oh my God, these thoughts are not me. There's something watching the thought. And then you start feeling more and you start recognizing more and more the thoughts. And then you start thinking you're going crazy because it's getting louder in your inner world. And all that's happening is that you're learning how to move into a flow state, which is that all of this is allowed. You are standing inside a quantum field, which means every single emotion as energy, thought as energy is available at any time. And if none of it is you, if no emotion is you, why would you not just let every emotion move through you? A crazy thought is whatever thought is crazy to you, right? If it's scary, then there's a part of you that believes it as you. And you want to pay attention to that fear. So you want to recognize you're afraid of whatever that thought is telling you. And then you want to ask yourself, what if I wasn't afraid of it? What if it just was standing right here as absolute truth? I'm going to let it burn me. I'm going to let it come in and burn me to the ground and realize that I stand up through the fire, right? That I don't get burned. We have to learn how to be this phoenix in the fire. We have to learn how to stand in the illusion that we're going to be burned in a fire and realize, holy shit, I actually didn't burn. So the more that you can stand in what you are so afraid of feeling, the more you can battle the limiting thoughts that you have, which means come to the table. I'm going to stand right here. I'm not fucking going anywhere. You're not going to get me. You're literally energetically battling limiting thoughts right now. This planet is in a battle. And it's not as easy as it once was, where you can, do all these little, I'm telling you, this is, humanity's going to recognize this. We are in such an intense energetic battle, and it's only going to accelerate its intensity, that these practices that we used to do in terms of changing our thoughts and positive thinking, it's not going to work anymore. Why? Because we have to remember that we can actually fucking battle it and stand in front of it. Whether it's an emotion, a behavior, or a limiting thought, we can stand right in front of it and not run from it. What else do you got? Bring it. As opposed to, I'm going to change this, I'm going to change that. I'm going to figure out how to get rid of this. Fuck no. I'm going to stand in fucking front of you. Whatever limiting thought you are, whatever dark energy that you have, whatever, not you, but what if somebody else has these dark energies that are around you, right? I'm going to run. I'm not going to be around. I'm going to run. And fuck no. You stand in the darkness. You stand in the shadow. You stand in what you're afraid of. You stand in what you don't want to be in. That is how you become empowered. That is how you realize that you will never freaking burn in the fire. Nothing can burn you. Nothing can destroy you. Nothing. No stress, no anxiety, no worry, no fear. Nothing can get you because you are so fucking brilliantly bright. But the only way that you can realize how brilliantly bright you are is that you have to see your light. And my friends, the only way to see the light is in the darkness. That's how you see the light. It shines in the darkness. The reason we see the sun is because it's literally in darkness. The reason we see the moon is because the light is shining on and in that darkness. The only way to see light is in the darkness. So how do you think you're going to find out that you're this brilliant light embodied? Positive thinking your way out of the darkness? Or fucking standing in the darkness and saying, you are not me. I am not this. I am not this. You will not get me. Anxiety will not get me. Depression will not get me. Fear will not get me. You have to still go through it because it's moving through you. But it's the practice of realizing, holy shit, this is not me. Fuck, I'm bright. fucking miraculous. Holy shit, I'm so powerful. What the? That's why they want to medicate us. Because if they can give you a pill, then you will be afraid of what you're feeling. Oh shit, I'm feeling this. I better go take a pill. Oh shit, I'm feeling this. I better go do this. Oh shit, I'm feeling sadness. I better go and distract myself with ... The most empowered place that you will ever find yourself is inside that darkness. That is how you will realize how badass and strong you are. Not by trying to fix it. By God, we have to stop trying to fix the dark. Fix the shadow. The way you heal is that you stand in that which you think you need to heal. You stand in it. You let it burn you. You let it destroy you. You let it take you, because then you stand up out of it and you're like, holy shit. Oh, fuck. Whew. I survived. What does that mean? It means that that isn't who I am. Wait, what does that mean? It means that I can feel the experience of what people call depression. And I can be aware that it's not me the entire time, that it is something moving through me. It is a game changer when you start to embody this. And this is what you're here to do. This is what you are here to remember. This is why you are going through everything. And listen, it's baby steps. I get it. Every moment of every day, I am navigating this and I am exploring this and I am unraveling this and I'm getting curious and I'm being pummeled and I am trying to numb out. And then I realize I'm a badass, burn me. And then I numb out and watch and shut down. And then I stand in it again, right? It's a constant remembering that we are in this spiritual battlefield, and it's going to get more and more intense. And the things that worked in the past for humanity are not going to work, because this is an evolution. And an evolution means that we are moving into new ways of being. New ways of being, which means that the old ways will not work. And it is always about simplicity. Life is about simplicity. It's coming back to the simple things. We are designed to do this simply, which means you just feel and you keep moving. And if it's trauma based on experiences that happened in your past, which most of the time it is, then you are becoming aware of that and you're still allowing yourself to feel it. And if you want to quit your existing job and you want to live creatively, but every day the financial stress hits you, I want you to pay attention to the thoughts. Just simply pay attention. Be aware of the thoughts. Start there. So what happens is that we get into a repetitive place of, I'm stuck in my job, I don't have enough money, I'm not going to make it. You don't even realize that you are having a thought, that a thought is actually playing. It's unconscious, so you're just thinking these things, but you're believing them. So you're believing them before you actually realize you're thinking them. So you have to peel yourself away from what you are believing to be true about your life. So you want to start to become aware of the thoughts. I'm not going to make enough money. I don't know how to make the money. I'm not going to be able to. I'm afraid. And let those thoughts be what they are. Let them be here. Let them sit down at the dinner table with you and just start getting curious with them. Wow. That's a really powerful thought that has got me. I don't know how I'm going to make money if I quit my job. That's a thought. It's a record that just pushed play. But we are so conditioned to not realize their thought that we believe it to just be true. You understand? We skip the initial injection of the thought and we just believe it's absolutely true. we don't realize that it's only true because we're believing the thought of it. The thought creates it, and then we believe the thought, and that is the reality. So for you, my friend, about the wanting a creative job and to make money to creatively, start recognizing first the really kind of unconscious, perhaps, thoughts, and let them get louder. The louder these limiting thoughts can become, the better. Because then you can start to realize how profoundly powerful they are, like how you're listening to them. But you have to realize what you're listening to. You have to humble yourself to it. Then you start choosing different thoughts. So imagine that you're at a breakfast table, okay? And breakfast is being served, and it's your normal breakfast of eggs, toast, and butter, which is, I'm never going to make money. I'm going to have to stay at this job. I can't be creative and be abundant. Eggs, toast, whatever. It's there. You're not even looking up, right? It's just the everyday breakfast that you're always given. It's completely comfortable because you know what it's going to look like and taste like, even though you want a different breakfast. Now what you want to do is you want to start to open up the table to new dishes being brought to you. So now you're like, oh, there's going to be papaya today. Huh. But the eggs and the sausage and the toast are what you're still going to focus the most on, because that is what has been brought to you every single day for God knows how long. But you have to start to open up to a different new thought. Oh, I can find a job where I am creative and be abundant. That papaya is there today, but it's probably not going to be there tomorrow. Well, why would you say that? Because it hasn't been there ever before. Why would I expect it to be there tomorrow? Because it can be there tomorrow, just like the toast has been there for the last 15 years. You just have to choose to start to see the papaya. So you have to start to open yourself up to the quantum field, which is what other thoughts, what other breakfast foods are available here. And then you have to literally fight for those thoughts. You will start to understand this energetic battle more now than ever before when you start realizing what you have constantly been serving yourself every morning for breakfast that you don't want. You're like, I gotta freaking pull in something else for breakfast now. I gotta see it every single day. And then the battle begins, the amazing, amazing, amazing battle of being soul embodied as human. So what thoughts, what breakfast items do you want to bring in, my friend? I can have a job where I feel expansion. I can have a job where I am creative. I have a job where I'm creative. What does it feel like to have a job where you're creative? What does it feel like to be paid for a service that you really, really love doing? What does it feel like to eat the papaya? We're only stuck in the world that we're in because of the really powerful thoughts that we believe. And it's not the most profound thing about this human experience is the power of thought. The power of thought is what stops you from feeling any single emotion, because you are judging that emotion, which means there's a thought around that emotion. So if our thoughts control how we feel emotion, our thoughts are controlling everything. If we start to learn that the thoughts can just come and go, just like breakfast. Every morning, I don't know, a new breakfast. I'm so curious to see what's going to come and go. No thought is actually me. Which thought am I choosing to hold with me? Which thought am I having for breakfast today? Then you'll notice thoughts just coming and going. And you'll start to become super empowered because you're realizing what thoughts you're grabbing and holding as absolute truth and which thoughts you're not grabbing any longer as absolute truth. And the more that you can let go of the judgments around emotions or energy that's moving through you, the more likely you are to no longer grab thoughts, because you're going to realize how powerful you are and that you're not the thoughts. And you're going to be humbled by how you have lived your life in these really, really intense thought forms. Welcome to our quantum evolution. It's like those movies where the monsters couldn't affect the man if he wasn't scared. Exactly. That's it. The second we stop being afraid of anything is the moment we break out of this third dimensional fear-based matrix. And so if you can start to hold more compassion for yourself and compassion for humanity, for everything that they are going through and everything you are going through, there'll be less resistance to life. You know, if you're struggling financially, have compassion for yourself for what you're in. Can you hold the lens that there are no mistakes? Life doesn't fuck up. It just doesn't. It's impossible. Just nature doesn't fuck up, and life is nature. Your life is nature. If you're battling a disease or an illness, where's the compassion for yourself for what you're going through? And that life has you. Life's moving with you. Life's moving you. If you're going through a divorce right now, where's the compassion for what you're experiencing? Where's the compassion for the emotions that you're feeling? And the more that you can conjure up the compassion for yourself, the more you're going to feel compassion, true, authentic compassion for others. Right? This idea of, it's not even an idea, this knowingness that forgive them for they know not what they do, and forgive me for I know not what I do. It's a powerful, powerful statement. You have been living a very unconscious life, whether you've been awake or not. Unconscious meaning that you have been programmed. And forgive yourself for that. It's not your fault. It's called the third dimensional matrix. It's called the third dimensional reality. It's called this planetary existence. And you're waking up out of it. And you're becoming more and more conscious. And you are becoming more and more clear and courageous and confident. But you got to forgive yourself for everything that you have ever been in or experienced, because you didn't know what you didn't know. And that's the unraveling of this evolution. You start to know what you have always known that you've forgotten, which is how to navigate an intense physical reality that is all energy. Okay, you guys, I love you. Thanks for being here. I'm going to post this on YouTube. So check it out on YouTube. I'll also leave it here. I'll put it on Facebook too. I love you. Mwah.